Hello friends, you may have noticed I have a glass of wine. Because it's whining with wine time. Theme park edition. Last week we went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which is a place I absolutely love. Usually we go during term time because hey, we have no children. However, we went with Stephen's nibblings, his sister and his brother-in-law and his parents. So there was a big gang of 10 of us. And it wasn't actually as busy as I had expected. However, I do have some points I must get off my chest. The first things first, I'm gonna reel it. I'm down with the whole world, feel it. And I'm in the mood of bitterness. Yeah, so the first thing, my blood was boiling. So we get in the queue for this ice blast thing. It just goes up and down, you know that thing where you're like, you go up, you go down, it's great. So Stephen and I were in the queue, and it was a longer queue than we were expecting. But you know, no big deal. So we were queuing and we were queuing and we were queuing, and we were like fairly near the front. And these tween-age girls in their tiny little crop tops and their high-waisted jeans, and they're doing this and glitter on their face, decided that because their friends were right at the front, they could come from the back and just push past everyone. My friends are over there. I do not care if the Queen of England is at the front and she's saying you can go there. No, I've queued here for 20 friggin' minutes and I'm not on the ride yet. So you little entitled P think that you can just do. They tried to push past everyone, and this lovely woman, well, I imagine she's lovely, in my story she's lovely, was just like, no, like, you can't push past us because we've been queuing here for ages. It's rude. So they decided they'd just climb over or under or whatever the barriers, and then they stood behind me and badmouthed the woman. Oh, stupid 4-year-old woman arguing with a 14-year-old, how childish. You know, just like, I want to say something. And teenage girls didn't like me when I was a teenage girl, so they're sure as hell aren't gonna like me now. And I made it very, very clear. I was quite, not direct to them, but I was like, nope, not going past me because I've been queuing here for 20 minutes and I don't care what you do, but you cannot, there is nothing that entitles you to be able to queue jump to the front. It's friggin' rude. And if they try it, I would get them kicked out. I was very sassy McSassin. I hadn't had any coffee. It was early in the morning. I don't care. I'm getting bitter in my old age. So they didn't jump over. Their pals who had been at the front decided they'd just wait for them, and they were like, oh, as if we have to wait. You should have to wait. If you want to ride with them, you should ride until we die. If you want to ride with them, you should have to wait until they go from the back where they were supposed to be to where you are. You're only having to wait for them for maybe 2 rides. That's not okay. Like, what if I was in front of them and I was like, hey, 8 other people that I'm with, come and push on in, because you can. They were just such entitled little pricks. I couldn't cope. They were so rude about it as well. Like, they weren't even sneaky, like, oh, sorry. Oh, it made me so cross. So then later in the day, once I'd calmed myself, I screamed a lot on the ride to try and get it all out. It helped. Literally, there was not a single ride I went on where someone did not try to push in front of me. Whether being like, oh, excuse me, sorry, and then just stand in front of me as if, what? Or to just kind of sneak in front. And when they'd snuck in front, acted very defensive, as if everyone was trying to sneak in front of them. No. So I was very elbowy, like, move yourself. I don't want to be queuing behind people who were behind me to begin with. No, stop it. Also, whilst I'm ranting or whining, I do not care who you think you are. The rules of physics apply to you, like they just do. So people who deliberately ignore the safety rules, like, oh, it says I can't stand up, but YOLO, they are the first people who will sue if anything goes wrong. No, my safety is in your hands. It's for you not to be a giant poo. Don't do the thing you're not supposed to do. So whether that's like, don't get your camera phone, that's so old. Don't get your phone out whilst we're going up a hill because, you know, Final Destination 3. Yeah, if you've been told not to do something, it's for a reason. There's a reason for that. The world is not like, but it's him. Rules don't apply to you. They do apply to you. And if I end up losing a limb or dying because of you and your stupidity and your need to get a selfie at every opportunity, I will come back and I will haunt you so hard. Also, I'm not one for playing the carnival games things because I only play games that I think I can win, and you can't win those things, like you just can't. Guy who wins giant banana in the first hour, banana the size of an 8-year-old child. What are you going to do with that for the rest of the day and the rest of your life? You can't put it in a locker because it's freaking giant. You can't put it on a seat next to you because no, I'm waiting. You can't, like, what are you going to do with it? We saw one person with a giant banana and a giant donut. How did you win on 2 things? Because they're a fix. But also, where are you going to put them? What are you going to do with them? What's going to happen to that giant confectionery, that giant fruit? Was it worth it? Was it worth it? So yeah, they are some mild annoyances with theme parks. That said, probably one of my favourite things to do is to go to a theme park. I love it. I'm not a great person to go with because I am very much like, right, we want to do this, 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 right, we need to do this. The best time to do this is this. And I also read up on roller coaster accidents and I'm like, hey, did you know that 12 people died on this ride? Which technically there's nothing in the United Kingdom that falls under that, thankfully. Ooh, touch wood. So I'm not the best person to go with, but if you want someone to scream really loud, scream obscenities in front of children, I'm your girl. A little bit of a whine with wine for you. I'm not normally this grumpy. Bye! I snotted, that's so gross.